one last battle to hold the line against the night.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
Hold the line. No one gets through, no matter what.
Sir, what are your orders?
There's only one order, Lieutenant. We hold.
Incoming transmission.
Allied reinforcements have arrived from the west.
On Mojo 50 Radio. The Millennial Conservative Resistance begins right here, right now.
Oh, yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the new Millennial Conservative Resistance does indeed begin right here, right now, with you! You are listening to, and God, I hope you're watching the HoloNet on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50. That is right, it is Saturday. It is the 29th of February in the year of our Lord 2020, the third year of the Trumpian age. And it is the Roaring 20s. And as appropriate to the Roaring 20s, I've got a new microphone. It is ritzy, it is classy looking, and I'm enjoying every frigging second of it. It's fantastic. And God, I hope the sound quality is really improving, because if not, I'm totally boned, because I have no idea how to undo all the modifications I made. God. I need an intern or a producer or something, Ron. You're killing me, dude. You're killing me. Slowly, with the lack of technological support, it happens. Anyway, so I wanted to start today's show, today's very special HoloNet, by letting you know I am going to touch on the topic that I teased. I was a dirty little tease. I did it again. It was a bad little tease. I teased when I was covering for Watson Prunier's Battle for Freedom on Wednesday. I teased that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about who in the hell gets to decide what an extremist group is. Who gets to decide what a hate group is? Is it the SPLC? Is it the ACLU? It ain't you. It ain't me. As George Carlin once so eloquently put it, it's a big club. You ain't in it. You and I are not a part of the big club, kids. No, we're not. But we do have to abide by their every single whim. Why? Because the government actually listens to these dips. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. The SPLC, the ACLU, they get all the credence. And I'm not talking about that sweet CCR, that Creedence Clearwater Revival. No, I'm talking about the credence that lets you tell the government what is and is not true. And we have to push back against that. We have to push back against it today, tomorrow, and every day after that, until there is absolutely no doubt that the determination is no longer made on a partisan basis. We have to retake this field that we have left unfought. We have to defy them at every step. Because right now, the casualties are not just our freedoms. The casualties are the livelihoods of men and women all over the country, especially the livelihoods of men and women in our military. Because when you sign up on that dotted line to give your life, your very soul, to your fellow Americans, to Uncle Sam, I have absolutely nothing but respect and love and admiration for our men and women in uniform, because they have the biggest set of brass, actually titanium balls ever, in order to sign on that dotted line that says they are willing to die. They are willing to die. Give that last full measure of devotion in order to protect and defend your constitutional freedoms, your life, limb, and property. It's kind of a big deal, guys. But these folks, when they sign on that dotted line, they are not necessarily always aware, although, I hope they are. I hope it's explained to them that there's something out there called the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which says that while you are serving your fellow Americans and your fellow man, there are certain rights that you no longer have. there are certain rights that now belong to the government and must yield in the face of your duties. One of those rights is freedom of association. Yes. There are men and women in our armed forces who are being summarily drummed out of those armed forces, who are being hit with massive penalties in those armed forces because they may be a member of a group which the SPLC or the ACLU or another leftist organization, another avowed hate group in their own right, has decided is unacceptable. So we're going to intellectually examine the who's who on the SPLC hate map. I kind of touched on it like last 5 minutes or so on Watson Prunier's show. I'm going to make sure I bring that to you here because I don't know if you listen to Watson's show or not. But that's going to come a little bit down the line. First, though, and foremost, I have to tell you about one of our lovely sponsors. One of our lovely sponsors here on the HoloNet. That lovely sponsor is Sovereign Rising Printing. That is Sovereign Rising Custom Printing. You can find them on Facebook.com. Facebook.com/Sovereign Rising. Make sure you check them out. Again, Facebook.com/Sovereign Rising. You're going to want to talk to Miss Emily Dean. Emily Dean is in charge over there at Sovereign Rising. You can get her on the phone, 910-583-3586. They use sublimation printing, which means no peeling of vinyl shirts and fading of your design. Sublimation is a technique where the ink is blasted into the fabric via a heat press instead of an iron-on transfer. Emily is able to press any type of clothing that is 100% polyester. A 100% polyester t-shirt is very, very soft and holds true to size. It does not shrink like cotton or other fabrics. Most requests can be done within 48 hours. Turnaround time to do so for 40 shirts and 40 tumblers, for example, can be done in 1 weekend. Any size. Arctic tumblers, by the way, Arctic tumblers are these awesome tumblers you can pick up. They accept vinyl decals amazingly. Emily works with Arctic because they offer an amazing wholesale price. Other items she can personalize and her team can personalize are phone cases, pop sockets. I'm always reminded of Pop Claw from The Boys. Yeah, don't watch that one with your kids. Anyway, journals, canvas tote bags of any size, and card decals. The business was created about 7 months ago to really help support Emily and her child. Emily has a bachelor's and a master's degree in criminal justice and a 9-year-old with autism who has been a victim of physical abuse. So she was forced to be a stay-at-home mom, work from home. And the name of the company and the logo is self-explanatory now that you know the why. So make sure you get over to Sovereign Rising Printing. Again, Facebook.com/Sovereign Rising. Call up Emily. Emily can help you out with your t-shirts. I know we're going to be getting some sweet HoloNet swag going. We already have some pretty sweet Mojo 50 swag. I think the Meatball Army of Mr. Rocky Stucci has already got the situation well in hand there for his team. I am waiting on my HoloNet merch. Emily, if you're within the sound of my voice, let's get this going because I think this audience is ready to rock some HoloNet merch and establish your bona fides as operatives with the HoloNet here on the Mighty Mojo 50. So, back to the task before us. Now, I mentioned I'm going to be talking a little bit about the freedoms that are given up by our military, but first, the news that you're not going to get anywhere else here in the United States, and no, I'm not going to talk about the coronavirus. I already talked about that on Izzo's show. That was some fun, by the way. Go back and listen to that. I called in. I had some fun. But we're going to talk about events now unfolding in Syria, where the Turkish army has been assaulted by the forces of Bashar al-Assad. And also, we're going to talk about the implications of the Russians moving into that area. And furthermore, we are going to talk about the likelihood of a hard... I dropped the bell. I didn't ring the bell. A hard Brexit now seeming more likely than ever, especially in the face of rising international tensions due to the coronavirus, as opposed to the corona and Lyme virus. So, folks, what that means, we need to take a jump over the pond. Here we go. And let the demonetization process begin! Okay, so we are going to go to CNN. God help us, I'm going to have to shower after this. According to CNN, a no-deal Brexit is now back, and it looks more likely than ever. Analysis by Luke McGee. This was updated on Friday. From London, they're saying the United Kingdom has left the European Union on January 31st. The world has since been mercifully quiet on the matter, and you'd be forgiven for assuming Brexit was over. Wishful thinking. The UK is not yet a month into its transition period with the EU, during which the country continues to play by EU rules while the future relationship is negotiated. That period ends December 31st. On Monday, the two sides will finally sit down to negotiate what the future relationship looks like, and the published priorities from London and Brussels are anything to go by. It's going to be a bloodbath. While both want free trade agreement and close alignment, they also believe that the other is trying to suddenly change the rules of agreement. Because that's true, CNN. The EU has been trying to screw Britain the entire time. They've been dealing dishonestly the entire damn time. Hate to inform you, Earth to CNN. Anyway. Ruptures between the EU and the UK are nothing new in Brexit, but this time it's a little different. The clock is ticking faster. The political landscape has changed, and no one knows how much goodwill there is. There's none. There's no goodwill. There's none. Screw them. Unless a major breakthrough or concession happens in the coming weeks, it's hard to see how this concludes any other way than the UK's transition period ending with no formal deal. Now, I've talked about this on a number of occasions. If the UK does hard Brexit, if they do a hard crash-out Brexit, they will survive. They will survive. They're going to be okay. They will survive because they have a fantastic relationship with the United States under the Trump administration. It's going to be fine. Relax. Chill. Seriously, folks. All this panic about Brexit now, it's something different every day. It's, first it's going to be Russia. First it's going to be, Boris Johnson. First it's going to be EU. First it's going to be Brexit. And then it's going to be coronavirus. And then we're going to go back to the Brexit. And then it's a new panic tactic every day. The Labour Party in the UK has become the party of fear. And the Democratic Party in the United States has become the Socialist Party and the party of fear. Fear is in the air. Both of our nations are rank with it. The stench is overpowering. Fear and panic running rampant through the streets. Have you seen the friggin' stock market? I'm pretty sure I've blown like $3 or $4 grand in my 401ks in like the last 48 freaking hours. My retirement's looking effing stellar. How about yours? It's fear. That is what the Labour Party's trying to gin up. That's what the EU's trying to gin up. That's what the Democratic Party's trying to gin up. And that is what Bernie effing Sanders is going to be running on. And Joe Biden will as well. Except Joe Biden's running on two kinds of fuel right now. He's running on fear and friggin' dementia, according to Louder with Crowder. Which, by the way, I want to give a big hearty thank you to Louder with Crowder, Stephen Crowder, and Quarter Black Garrett. For running my 37-second long little video. You can find that on the Twitters. Follow me on Twitter at the HollowNet. I just popped on and gave a little thank you, a little tip of the hat, a little professional courtesy to Louder with Crowder, which is currently the biggest megaphone for the conservative movement on YouTube. Now, as far as the libertarian movement goes and the free speech movement goes, nothing compares to the mighty Mojo 5-0 and these wonderful folks that I get to share this stage with every single week. And don't you friggin' forget it. I do need to address something real quick, and I'm going to pull it up on the Twitter here because there's a little bit of housekeeping. And normally I don't talk inside baseball. I leave that crap for Ron and, Handy J and Brad Staggs and other people who are better equipped to talk about it. But there is a tweet that went out, and I'm not gonna get mad at the original poster here, but Cougar OG Jack Old Diva at HeatHug88 posted, WTF, why is everyone abandoning the Mojo ship? First, Jennifer Torres of That's What She Said, and Handicap Jeff. Hashtag what I learned today. Handy J informed the Mojo 50 team that he felt God was leading him in a different direction, and Jennifer informed the Mojo 50 team of the same. They are moving on to different things in their lives, and I have to express this. Hell no! I won't suffer talk like that. The Mojo 50 machine is cranking harder, faster, deeper, stronger, and longer. Now, we bid our dear friends good luck and Godspeed in their future endeavors, and we have love in our hearts for them and camaraderie. But talent comes and talent goes. Jackholes forever, baby. Can I get a mother effing amen? And I am very, very pleased and gratified to see that the Jackholes have responded in kind. But folks, we have to be perfectly honest with each other. Okay, this is radio. This is conservative talk radio. This is conservative, libertarian, free speech talk radio. Talk radio, the landscape changes constantly. Here in my local market of Arizona, there's been mass upheaval. There have been major changes in the field of who's on, who's off. Mike Broomhead of 550 KFYI fame just moved over to 92.3 KTAR after like a decade at 550. So he moved from the AM dial to the FM dial. There's changes going down in who's going to do the morning shift there. There have been big changes like on classic stations like Kogo out in San Diego. A good friend of the program and a man I'm proud to know and call one of my mentors, Chris Merrill. He recently got the ouster from Kogo there, and I hope he lands somewhere great. In other really awesome news, the first hour of Mojo 50's Daily Mojo is now going to be carried in Texas. Let me go back to Ron's post here. Oh, come on, Ron. Where'd you put it? He put it on his own damn Facebook, didn't he? Hang on, let me see if I got this up here. Ron Phillips. Yeah, it's going to be carried now. Come on, Ron. Dude, why didn't you just make this a press release? You couldn't have put it on the Mojo Facebook. That would have been so much easier. Anyway, it's going to be carried now. Here we go. We'll be simulcasting the first hour of the Daily Mojo with Brad Staggs and producer Ron from Mojo 50 on JoCo Community Radio in Johnson County, Texas, starting on Monday, 3/2. Tiffany and the crew at JoCo offered to allow us to broadcast the first hour of our radio show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. So check that out on JoCoCommunityRadio.com. So that's an awesome turn of events. The landscape changes constantly in talk radio. It's a business. It's a business. A lot of us have other things in our lives. A lot of us have other business ventures that we're taking, and we wish our friends well. But even though the roster may change from time to time, you know, we add new hosts, we have hosts move on to bigger, better things, hopefully. You know, that's what we always pray for our colleagues, that they're moving on to do better and to grow. And that's going to happen. Don't lose heart. Don't lose heart over it. You know, pray for their blessings. Be thankful for the time that we got to spend with them, for the hours that Jennifer Torres gave us with That's What She Said. And before that with Bill Freitas with the Bill and Jen show. What the hell did they even call that show? Was it Uncommon Talk? Uncommon Talk with Bill and Jen before that. And, you know, before that, you know, people don't like to say his name anymore for some reason because he's the guy who used to work at the loudest mouth in the South, Matt Locke. You know, now doing great things on, God, what is he, on America's Voice Radio or something like that? He's doing great things up north, and, you know, I'm really happy for him. You just gotta keep moving forward. You gotta keep plugging along. The HoloNet is here. The HoloNet was on Lanterns Media Network before this. You know, things change. You know, I hope that the HoloNet will continue to be on Mojo 50 for a long, long time, and I hope we're going to continue to grow and build with this station and with this company. But you can't let it get you down. Can't let it get you down. Like I said, harder, faster, deeper, stronger, longer. Jackholes forever. Mojo 50 is going strong, baby. Don't you bat an eyelash at it. Don't you lose a wink of sleep over it. We are doing effing fantastic. We've got a stellar lineup of amazing hosts that are going to keep the party going. Because we like to party. We like to party. Now, I got all that housekeeping BS. I just had to give my input on that, because don't lose heart, man. Don't lose heart. You know, just because one host leaves and a fantastic producer, you know, Spin the Dials radio style down there in Dallas leaves, This just means the holes in the roster open up and they get filled with, we're filling holes. Filling holes. We fill holes with in the roster with more great talent, with a wider diversity of talent. Maybe these people come back later. I hope so. You never know. But anyway, I digress. Boy, I blew like half a segment on that. Damn it. Okay, I'm going to have to get this free speech stuff in the second half. I think I got some time to touch on the turkey thing. See if I can reach out and touch turkey. Anyway, a lot of bells today. Mojo50 Facebook. I have to go here because it's the only place that exists. Want to tell you folks about a very, very special arrangement. And you can see how special it is by, I'm pretty sure that's effing white-lined paper. Boy, that's good marketing. Look at that. Watson's White Chocolate Caramel, which is African beans flavored and roasted, just dark enough to hopefully satisfy the host during Black History Month and keep the outrage mob off of poor DM at DM's back. Breaking news, Mojo50 fought really hard with American Pride Roasters at APR Coffee to get Watson Prunier of Battle for Freedom his own blend. We still don't have HoloNet Fuel. What the hell? No HoloNet Fuel? Dude, I drink more coffee than anybody alive. Time of recording, it's like 1 a.m. I'm drinking coffee. Anyway, his own blend. Go to mojo50.com/donate and donate at least $15 in the last 2 days of Black History Month, which means you have, like, today. It's a leap year, so you got today to go and do this. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Go on and donate at least $15 to Black History Month. I'm sorry, to Mojo50 during Black History Month. With your gracious gift comes our thanks and one of these limited editions of coffee put together at the absolute last freaking minute, hence the white-lined paper and no, like, bag art or anything like that. But it's awesome coffee from the official coffee of Mojo50 Radio, and that would be the APR Coffee, American Pride Roasters. Get it, India. All right? So, I will show you another good trick that I know. I read that book too much to my kids. News coming in from NBC. Russia deploys warships to the Syrian coast after Turkey loses 33 soldiers in an attack. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, because he can't go back to Constantinople because Constantinople is Istanbul, is looking toward the west for support. At his country's request, NATO will be holding a meeting on the situation. Danger Will Robinson, Russians getting in the kitchen, and remember, Turkey's a NATO ally. Story from London. Russia on Friday announced it had dispatched 2 state-of-the-art. In other words, they were new 30 years ago. State-of-the-art. I'm making air quotes for the people on radio. Warships to the Middle East after an attack on Syria killed 33 Turkish soldiers. Videos posted on social media showed 2 of Russia's newest guided missile frigates, the Admiral Grigorovich and the Admiral Makarov, making their way through the Bosporus, a Turkish-controlled choke point that runs through Istanbul, Constantinople, on the way to the Syrian coast. Though Russia and Turkey have seen a rapprochement in recent years, much to the chagrin of U.S. And its NATO allies, the 2 sides pursue opposite goals in Syria. Moscow backs the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, while Ankara backs rebel groups opposing him in northern Syria. Turkey has beefed up its support, both in men and material, for rebel forces in the face of the Syrian regime's assault on the last remaining opposition stronghold in the Idlib province. The escalation of violence has again highlighted Russia's and Turkey's conflicting interests in Syria. A U.S. State Department official told reporters Friday that it remained unclear who had launched the strike that killed the Turkish troops, but Russia was known to work closely with the Assad regime. Quote, at every level, every military action, seemingly however minor, is coordinated by Russian commanders, said the official. The Trump administration was exploring ways to assist Turkey, the official said, but, quote, military moves by American units were not being contemplated. So, something more to pay attention to, another potential flashpoint is Syria. And I'm out of time for this half. So that music, folks, means we are going to take a quick break, and when we return, we are going to talk about who gets to decide what is and is not an extremist group. You're listening to and hopefully watching the Holonet on the Mighty Mojo 50. Stick around.
Mojo 50 Radio. The Millennial Conservative Resistance begins right here, right now.
Oh, yes, indeed, boys, girls, children, old ladies, we are back. You're listening to and hopefully watching the Holonet on the mighty, the powerful Mojo 50 Radio. Thank you for sticking with us through the half an hour. I know that sometimes it's a little hard, a little challenging. To get all the way through the show, but it happens, you know. I mean, sometimes you just got to push through it. Anyway, so coming back from a little network break there, did want to talk to you really quick about another one of our sponsors. If you haven't been there yet to check them out, you need to check out newlifeholistic.com. That's newlifeholistic.com. Do you suffer with anxiety, PTSD, insomnia, depression, addictions, brain fog, memory loss, low energy, anger, irritability, chronic pain, or chronic fatigue? Oh, wait, I'm up. Headaches, migraines, mood swings, lack of motivation, inability to focus or concentrate. Are your negative thoughts and self-limiting beliefs stopping you from achieving your goals and everything you want in life? New Life is using the most advanced biofeedback and neurofeedback systems to help people overcome anything and everything that is holding them back from achieving everything they have envisioned for their lives. This is the same technology being used by the Mayo Clinic, NASA, the Department of Defense, Navy SEALs, the U.S. Olympic team, to help patients achieve optimal performance levels. Biofeedback and neurofeedback sessions are available in the Chicago offices of New Life Holistic or remotely by phone. If you truly want to change your life, first you have to change your damn mind. They didn't say damn, I did. Call today to schedule your free consultation. Mention Mojo 50 Radio. Get $50 off your first session. 1-888-4-BIO-LIFE. That's 1-888-4-BIO-LIFE. Or go to newlifeholistic.com. You've tried everything else. Now try something that's proven. Your new life is waiting for you. And it has a knife. And it's probably going to kill you. No, I'm kidding. I'm having fun tonight, but hey, that's a good thing. I'm supposed to have fun with my work, aren't I? So, hey, it can't all be doom and gloom, damn it. Anyway, back to work. Washington Post. Turkey vows to escalate military action after 33 soldiers die in Syrian strike. Istanbul and Constantinople go to Istanbul. Turkey vowed Friday to escalate military actions in Syria's Idlib province after 33 of its soldiers were killed in an airstrike it blamed on Syria, as the risk of a major military confrontation between Russia and Turkey in the region increased sharply. Russia said its air force was not operating in the area of attack, accused Turkey of breaching a 2018 ceasefire deal, which limited the deployment of Turkish troops to observation points in the region. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan spoke by phone on Friday and will meet in Moscow next week in an effort to resolve the crisis. According to Putin's spokesperson, the Dmitry Peskov, the meeting will be held on March 5th or 6th. The Kremlin accused Turkey's military officers of failing to coordinate the position of its forces and Russian military forces in the region, a claim rejected by Hulusi Akar, Turkey's defense minister. Quote, the attack occurred even though the locations of our troops had been coordinated with Russian officials in the field, he told reporters in Hatay, a southern Turkish province bordering Syria, according to the state-run Anadolu news agency. Akar said Turkey retaliated against Syrian forces by destroying helicopters, tanks, and air defense systems and other hardware, and by killing more than 300 Syrian fighters. Fahrettin Altun, like a native, a spokesperson for Erdogan, indicated that Turkey's retaliatory strikes are not over. Quote, our operations in Syria will continue until we have those responsible for their martyrdom pay dearly, he wrote on Twitter. So, folks, it's the end of the world as we know it. In addition to the Kung Flu, the coronavirus, which everybody and their godfather is talking about, so I'm not going to delve too deeply here. I'm going to skim the surface at 50,000 feet, just fly by. Yeah, in addition to that, look where they're not showing you, okay? Look where the mainstream media's cameras are not pointed, and right now they're not pointed anywhere near Syria. Right now they're not pointed anywhere near the protests in Hong Kong that very suddenly disappeared. And again, I'm going to tell you, go back and listen to that rants of Izzo that I called in on, because I put on my tinfoil hat for a second because Izzo's been saying, isn't it odd how the protests disappeared? Yeah, I also kind of just made the little postulation that given the fact we're dealing with China, a country that is facing a massive population implosion because of their one-child policy, combined with their own version of the baby boom, now they're looking at a generation that is mathematically impossible for them to economically support through retirement. Do we really think it is beyond China to say, I don't know, cull the herd and maybe do a limited release of something they cooked up in a lab on their own people to achieve two things? Number one, stemming a popular rebellion in Hong Kong that threatened to spread to other cities, and potentially eliminate some quote-unquote excess population. Because you got to remember, this is China we're dealing with. The Great Leap Forward. China's quote-unquote prosperity has been bought with the blood of millions. And if you think that Xi Jinping is so far removed from Mao Zedong, it is only but by degrees. Guys, they're still commies. They are still commies. And this is what Bernie Sanders wants to bring to a city near you. Quick stop before we continue on our free speech rant. Bernie Sanders has a $150 billion plan to turn the internet into a public utility with low prices and fast speeds and 100% government control. Here's how his plan works. This is from Business Insider, January 22nd, 2020. Don't know how I missed this. I'm in the internet business. Senator Bernie Sanders, a Democratic presidential candidate, he has a $150 billion four-point plan that would fundamentally transform how the internet... Haven't we heard that before? We're going to fundamentally transform the United States of... Yeah, Bernie wants to fundamentally transform the effing internet. As a four-point plan that would fundamentally transform how the internet works in the United States. The plan would effectively turn the internet into a publicly provided utility, similar to how water and power are distributed. The broadest goal of the proposal is to provide every American with access to affordable high-speed internet. Quote, high-speed internet service must be treated as the new electricity. Hang on. Yeah, we're talking about Bernie now, so... Son of a bitch! Oh, I didn't put poison on here. I'll have to fix that next time. High-speed internet service must be treated as the new electricity. The proposal says a public utility that everyone deserves as a basic human right. Here's how Bernie thinks it can be done. The plan dubbed... Oh, God. This guy has got zero swag when it comes to naming shit. Okay, sorry about the cuss. The plan is dubbed High-Speed Internet for All. A winner is you. Okay. Would effectively turn the internet into a public utility along the lines of water and power. High-speed internet must be treated as near electricity. Public utility. Okay. To that end, $150 billion would go to creating publicly owned and democratically controlled cooperative or open access broadband networks. Good luck. Here's how it works. 1, requiring internet service providers like Verizon and Comcast to offer a, quote, basic internet plan that provides quality broadband speeds at an affordable price. The core of Sanders' high-speed internet plan is to provide internet for everyone in an affordable way. Quote, the FCC will review prices and regulate rates where necessary, ensuring areas without competition are able to run up prices. The plan says, we will also require providers to offer a basic plan for regulated rate to all customers, ensuring everyone will be able to access affordably connect to the internet. The providers in question are the massive media conglomerates like Verizon, Comcast, and Charter. Bernie will regulate these providers like utility, it says. The proposal includes further subsidies for people who qualify for government assistance programs like SNAP, Medicaid, TANF, and free broadband to all public housing. 2, redefining minimum broadband speeds so that a 100 megabyte per second download speed and a 10 megabyte per second upload speed is the floor. Guys, gals, the notion that every household in America needs 100 megabytes per second of internet service is laughable. Laughable. The vast majority of your home internet use, 7 megs, is plenty. Calling for high-speed broadband doesn't mean much of a definition if your fast internet is stuck in the past. The current FCC minimum to be considered broadband is 25 down, 3 up, which is actually pretty good. It works and it gets the job done well enough, but it's a slouch compared with many other parts of the world, which are geographically smaller and more densely populated. Just saying. Under Sanders' proposal, the FCC would increase the minimum to 100 meg, down 10 up. Okay, breaking up companies that offer internet service and provide content like Comcast and AT&T. You know, I've talked about the media... Oh, God, what is it? The media industrial complex. And, you know, this isn't an altogether bad idea. I believe in a more laissez-faire form of the economy, but breaking up truly large monopolies is reasonable, and I do believe that especially like AT&T is verging on a monopoly. Disney has passed verging and now are just full-bore, absolutely, positively shaking hands with J.G. Rockefeller. They're a monopoly now. So not necessarily a terrible idea, I'll be perfectly honest. Sanders says he would use existing antitrust authority rather than the FCC to dismantle internet service provider and cable monopolies. Okay, you got one, but I honestly think conservative would do a better job. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there, because conservatives don't tend to pick winners and losers. They tend to just let it ride. Anyway, providing $150 billion to create publicly owned and Democratic-controlled cooperative or open access broadband networks. I have no idea how the hell this is going to work. Man. One major condition is included, though. Grants from the funding must go toward creating good-paying union jobs and come with rigorous standards. Yeah, this is going to be a freaking boondoggle, man. This is going to be terrible. The money, which is part of the broader Green New Deal initiative, is intended for municipalities and or states to build publicly owned, democratically controlled, cooperative, and open access broadband networks. I think this is going to be terrible. And 5, ending data caps and speed throttle. Why the hell did they have a picture of Captain Picard and Data? Who wrote this? Another notable detail in the proposal is putting an end to data caps and speed throttling. As people stream more content and download larger, higher definition movies, some internet service providers have begun placing caps on users. Yeah, the ones that suck. 200 gigabytes per month, for example. If you go over the cap, there's a chance you'll get slapped with a charge. In some cases, your provider may even throttle your service speed in an attempt to swallow you from losing throttle some. Your proposal from the Sanders campaign explicitly calls for the elimination of both practices. A lot of businesses, believe it or not, a lot of internet providers, especially some of the small to medium business, they are moving away from that already because it's vastly unpopular. But I digress. Bernie Sanders stepping in to the internet service provider business, which should scare the ever-loving shite out of everybody. Nothing like some sweet, sweet socialism to make the internet go down smooth. Hey. Oh, yeah. Didn't Britain just dodge that bullet? So, yeah, I was going to go into a little more on Sanders, but, just... Son of a bitch! No, we'll have to get back to it. But the Air Force, the United States Air Force, off we go into that wild blue yonder, is recommending discharging an airman with white nationalist ties, according to Fox News. An Air Force Administrative Board has recommended... I hate it when it scrolls like that. Come on. Nice full-screen commercial. That's good. An Air Force Administrative Board has recommended a Colorado airman be discharged for ties to a white nationalist group, according to a Monday report. Sergeant Reeves, based at Shrivner Air Force Base in Colorado Springs, was reduced in rank from Master Sergeant to Technical Sergeant after an investigation determined he had been a member of Identity Europa, an organization defined by the Anti-Defamation League. Notice, defined by the Anti-Defamation League. Not the FBI, not the Department of Homeland Security, not the NSA, not any of the alphabet agencies. This was defined by a privately run, politically motivated organization as a hate group. And the Air Force acted on that. This is important. Okay. Earlier this month, the Office of Special Investigations, a unit within the Criminal Division of the Justice Department, the Criminal Division. Remember how they acted on the Anti-Defamation League, which is a private, non-governmental organization with political motivations? Criminal Division of the Justice Department confirmed his active membership and participation in the group, the Air Force Times reported. An Air Force spokesman, Ann Stefanik, told the outlet Saturday, that the board has recommended Reeves be discharged from the Air Force, but a review process is still ongoing. Gets better. Colorado Springs anti-fascists identified Reeves as a patron and an organizer of Identity Europa, who made monthly donations beyond what regular members pay. The group also released photos of Reeves, so they doxed him, that allegedly show him taking part in the Identity Europa protests. The allegations prompted an investigation by the Air Force, which was completed in August. In the following months, Reeves was demoted to Technical Sergeant. After a hearing earlier this month, some lawmakers in a House Armed Services Subcommittee criticized what they regard as the Air Force's delayed response. So they're actually getting crap for not acting fast enough on the following. Note, I have not yet defended Identity Europa. I don't intend to defend Identity Europa. But there's a concept called fruit of the poison tree. Legally. I'm not a lawyer, but when bullshit begets bullshit, there's a problem. Okay? Let's start from scratch. The Anti-Defamation League, a private organization, okay, not a governmental office, established Identity Europa is a hate group, right? Follow me through this now. Colorado Antifa, Colorado Springs Antifa, identified Reeves. Yeah, they doxed him. They took pictures of him, connected it to his job, and said, hey, this is your boy, to the Air Force. The Air Force then responded by launching a criminal investigation. So Antifa, which is not recognized by the Anti-Defamation League as a hate group, or by the SPLC as a hate group, despite every characteristic being there of a hate group, of a racist, ideologically unsound, violent group of people. And that led to the demotion and potential discharge of this officer of the Air Force. Quote, only recently, after facing intense pressure, did the Air Force decide to begin the process of removing Reeves from the military. And that's a concern to me, said Rep. Deb Haaland, Democrat of New Mexico. Robert Grabowski, the Deputy Director of Law Enforcement of the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, said during the hearing that OSI investigates airmen for, quote, active participation rather than mere membership in a white nationalist organization. Here is the question that we must ask every time. Who got to decide? Number one, that Identity Europa is a white nationalist organization. Who made that decision? Was this a federal agency? Because a federal agency decided that the Ku Klux Klan was a white nationalist organization and a terroristic organization connected to crimes. Who decided that Identity Europa is a white nationalist organization with ties to crime? According to this article, and according to The Air Force statement, Colorado Antifa, and the AFL, the Anti-Defamation League, established that this is a hate group. I've read about Identity Europa. I think they are a white nationalist organization. They definitely are. I really do. They are advocating for a white ethno-state. Got it. There's a subsequent child organization, which is AIM, the American Identitarian Movement, apparently founded right here in Arizona, incorporated here, which, from what I can tell, appears to be a similarly minded organization. I can't connect them to any crimes that I'm aware of. But in the U.S. Air Force, apparently it is a crime to merely be a patron or be a participating member in this. Here's the document. The Equal Opportunity Program, military and civilian, compliance with this program is mandatory. And this actually does lay out within its provisions that the membership of a military officer or enlisted man or woman in an organization like this is unacceptable and will result in disciplinary action up to and including dismissal from the military. This is in the Air Force's policies. It is also in Department of Defense Directive number 1325.6. Here we go. Service members' right of expression shall be preserved to the maximum extent possible, consistent with good order and discipline and national security. So this strongly limits a soldier's, sailor's, airman's ability to join a group, especially one that the Air Force considers to be extremist or white nationalist. But who gets to decide that? What I would suggest, and what I called for when I was on Battle for Freedom, is that a parallel group needs to exist within the political sphere of the United States. A conservative equivalent, if you will, of the SPLC and the Anti-Defamation League. Because alongside white nationalist organizations like Identity Europa, like the Atomwaffen Division, like neo-Nazis and the National Socialists, you find organizations like the ADL. No, not the Anti-Defamation League, I'm sorry. But you find organizations like Act for America, Pamela Geller's organization, which is listed as anti-Islamic. You find organizations like
Mojo 50. Join or die.
I did not hit that button. Trippy. Anyway, you find that's what happened. You find organizations like, well, here. I'm gonna look this up real fast. I had this up here at the SPLC hate map because I just can't remember the damn name of the organization. But I pulled them up in Arizona. I pulled up all the various hate groups, quote-unquote hate groups, that are here in Arizona. And some of them are not legitimate hate groups. Some of them are actual organizations that have good works. Alliance Defending Freedom, the ADF. Thank you. God, couldn't come up with that to save my life. Is a legal fund which protects religious freedom. The Alliance Defending Freedom. They defended the cake baking family. You know, they talk about protecting the family. They talk about protecting people's rights to their religious beliefs. The sanctity of individual decision-making. Alliance Defending Freedom is a patriotic organization devoted to defending constitutional freedoms. Should be lauded. Shouldn't be on a hate watch list alongside the likes of BombIslam.com and Adam Waffen Division. They used to have Family Watch International on here. Family Watch International. Based in Gilbert, Arizona. It's an educational organization. Founded by Sharon Slater, a Mormon, who is a pro-life, outspoken pro-life activist. So Family Watch International, that's a hate group, apparently. Apparently, the Patriot Movement AZ, PMAZ, is a hate group, according to the SPLC, which is bullshit. I mean, I've met these people. I've spoken with them. I've spoken at the same rallies that they've been at. You know, I've shook hands with them. They're not a hate group. They're very vocal opponents of illegal immigration and supporters of President Trump, which makes them public enemy number one, right? The Proud Boys, who Gavin McInnes had to rapidly distance himself from. Not a hate group. Not a hate group at all. But they're on the list. So we must establish an equal and opposite, an equivalent to the SPLC and the ADL. Why isn't Antifa on this list? Why aren't they there? If you can answer me that, you win a prize. Why isn't Antifa on this list? Why isn't Black Lives Matter on this list? Why isn't CARE or ISNA on this list? Oh, that's right. They're more special than you. I didn't get to spend as much time on this as I wanted to because I wanted to cover other news that nobody's talking about, like Turkey and like Brexit. And a little bit of housekeeping in Mojo 5.0. But this is important, damn it, and I'm going to revisit it over and over and over again. We have to answer this. We have yielded this ground unfought. We have to get back in the fight for defining what is and is not a hate group. Defining what is and is not an acceptable group in society. Now that music means it is time for this holonet to come to an end. Remember what we talked about, folks. Keep your eyes open. Good night. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. From Phoenix, Arizona, I'm Matt Holloway. End transmission.